Hello. Fred Faulkner was born and bred in Breach Lane, Walton on the Hill. At the age of 98, he now lives with his son Alan and daughter-in-law Margaret in the Bournemouth area. His father was a founder member of the Artisans at Walton Heath, and the name Faulkner appears numerous times on the boards in the Artisans clubhouse. Fred's uncle, Gus Faulkner, was assistant to James Braid before World War I. But there's more, because Fred's cousin was Max Faulkner, who won the Open, yes, the Open Championship, in 1951. After retiring, Fred became the locker room attendant at the club, and he freely admits that his entire life has revolved around Walton Heath. I was privileged to catch up with Fred and his family, and first asked when Fred's own association with the club started.
Well, graciously, I caddied for the Prince of Wales when I was 10 or 11 year old. The old Prince of Wales.
That's King Edward.
And I remember James Braid, when he was professional there, and I was sent home to put a best suit on because I was going to caddy for the Prince of Wales. But actually, I didn't actually caddy for him. I just caddied for one of his contests, his hangers on. But I had to go home and get the best Sunday suit on with a collar and tie, because most of the caddies were rough old crowd. Most of the caddies were them days.
But Fred, you were born and bred in Walton on the Hill, weren't you?
55 Breach Lane, 3 gable cottages. That was the original, and they changed it into figures. They called us 55 Breach Lane. But gable cottages were the same houses, but they changed the name. When all come under the postal area.
He was a choir boy in the church.
Yeah, I was in the choir boy.
At St Peter's?
We had top boy, Bobby Doe, went to school with me. Bobby got the DFC and bar. He shot 14 enemy planes down. He was a gardener's son from Walton on the Hill, Bob Doe. And they eventually gave him a commission. Bob and I used to cycle to school to Leatherhead when I was at Leatherhead School. We used to cycle to school there, old Bob. But he was always at state above us. We always looked up to him. He was in the RAF and I was in the Navy.
So you caddied for the Prince of Wales when you were 10 or 11 years old, but when did you actually start to swing a golf club?
Remember the Prince of Wales?
When did you start to swing a golf club?
Oh, I can't remember how much. I dragged her along when I could walk.
My grandfather used to make his own clubs.
Oh, yeah.
I've still got some.
Really?
We used to go around the jumble sales and buy the old hickory shaft fronts and sandpaper the shafts down to make them more whippy and all different things like that they used to. And then my brother said he was a plumber. He used to buy a set and he weld weights on the back of to make them heavier. You could buy from Kennards, I think it was, the Woolworths. They put a set on the market, similar they called them, but they were all just one set with no specific names. And my brother said it was a plumber. He welded bits on the back, made them heavier.
Get through the heather.
They for boys' clubs.
So were you playing golf at 11, or did you were playing golf before 11?
Oh, crikey! I remember dragging them. I could hardly walk when I was swinging a golf. A guy had a picture of me when I was about 4 or 5 years old with a golf club in my hand. My dad was more or less in the military. He was a soldier, my dad. Golf, when they built the golf course at Walton on the Hill, he was one of boys there in the shop.
Really?
I used to work in the golf club. When I first left school, I don't think I worked in the pro shop as such. I might have done, I can't remember now. Well, I know I've worked in the golf club.
It's been his life. The golf club's been his life.
Hello, I went into working in the gardens. He was the chairman of the British American Tobacco Company. And we used to work in the summertime, work till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that was the next step was the golf club. We get your golf clubs out and you played there till dark. When it was old enough to use the pub to start.
Until he'd moved to Dorset with us 18 months ago, David, he'd never, other than his 6 years in the Navy during the war, he'd never lived more than 4 miles from the golf club.
No.
He lived in Tadworth and Walton on the Hill all his life.
Entire life.
Golf
Amazing.
club it was saved during the Depression years. The golf club provided work when there was no work about, and there was all the wealthy people who was members there, and we'd go and earn as much in a weekend as you could earn in a week. It was like caddying just Saturday. You have Saturdays and Sundays. Do 36 holes a day, and bought a new suit out of that, and lived on it.
So tell me a little bit about the Navy and what you did during the war, Fred.
I had a great time in the Navy. I loved my time in the Navy. We had a ship I was on. We were finished up in America. We got torpedoes.
Where?
In
the Atlantic?
No, in the Mediterranean. We went to America to repair. When I went to America hadn't come into the war.
Right.
The first time I went to America, and if we went ashore, we had to wear sports jackets and ties. We weren't allowed to wear our uniforms.
Oh, right.
Not ashore.
Oh, what? Because they were neutral at the time.
They were neutral.
I see.
But we were fated wherever we went. We wore blazers and ties, and we stood out, you know. And our accent as well, because the accent to the Americans was very funny. They used to like to listen to an Englishman talk.
Tell me, Fred, do you remember the golf club after the war and coming out of the war, and whether much golf got played and what the golf club was like then?
Well, it was after when I got made. I was captain, wasn't I?
You were captain of the Artisans a number of times.
Yeah, but then I got made a lifelong member of Walton Heath Club.
Yeah, you are a life member.
92, I think you were.
Did you play golf after the war? Was the golf open to you? That's what.
Oh yeah, we always reckon we earned the privilege to play there for nothing. I don't ever remember playing a green fee.
Don't tell him that.
We always used to contribute towards it. That's why we used to go and do work on the golf club for nothing, you know. Water in the summertime, we go water.
Oh yeah, he'd always do work. He'd always work. Anybody asked for anything, especially during. I remember the News of the World tournaments. He would always be out there marshalling the crowds, or doing the car park, or taking money at the gate, doing something. In fact, I used to help out as well because I was his son.
It was a privilege to do it, you know, because we sort of had contribution towards the club.
Yeah. They didn't do it for money. They did it for the love of the club. Yeah.
I played it all of my life. Never played a green fee in my life to play at Walton Heath. We used to go and play a Tuppenhackney course down in the country, play a green fee and everything. And I played
You're playing on a championship course.
playing the course I wanted, and I'm going to play a fee of playing on rubbish people like this.
Do you remember the bomb craters after the war that appeared on the golf course?
Remember the golf? I remember working on it.
Do you remember the bomb craters?
Oh yeah. They weren't allowed to touch them for a long time, and they weren't allowed to fill them in.
Why?
No, they left. They used to be run by the, I think it was the 12th and the New. There's a lot of craters there which they weren't allowed to fill in. Historical spots. I can't remember now what it was all about.
Mm-hmm.
They used to mow around them, and they were talking about filling them in and making them run in, but they had to leave them there. Sorry, I can't remember.
I think they're still there, actually. I think they haven't been filled in to this day.
Oh, right. I didn't realise that myself. I've been out on the golf course a number of times. They're still there to this day.
Oh, yeah.
They never filled in.
Oh, yeah.
You got
And he's got his
Walton Heath
tie on
jumper
as well.
Fred. And tie.
Anti.
Yeah. We appreciate you making the effort. It's very kind of you.
I'm going to try on his
You
Yeah,
have got
yeah,
to
you're
try on.
very smart.
Yes, yeah.
David, can I just add something? In the Second World War, after the Argonaut, he went on HMS Whelp.
Yeah.
The commanding officer was His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh.
Okay. His connections with royalty are substantial.
Now, can you see that photograph?
Yes.
This was taken 15 years ago. As far as we know, they were the only 4 people alive that served on the Whelp at the time. The only 2 survivors now are the Duke of Edinburgh and Fred. So that's,
There is a Duke still,
that's the Duke of Edinburgh there.
Is he gone now? Is he?
No, he's still alive. He's 99,
Yeah.
year older than you.
Oh, yeah. How old am I now?
You're
98.
this year.
99 in November.
We don't play golf again. I still got my golf clubs.
No,
I think your son-in-law's got them.
To join our club, you had to put 2 or 3 cards in, and then nearly everybody started off at 16. And then you went from there, either up or down. And I remember getting to 10, which was...
You told me you were at 6 once.
Well, yeah, but 10 was good. You never disgrace yourself at 10, really. And
It was a bandit, in other words.
and yeah, my brother was playing off the 2. But, I mean, he was all over the place. He could have a 69 one day and an 89 the next in the afternoon and all that business. They never had two games the same.
Do you remember James Braid, Fred? Do you actually remember being with him?
I caddied for James Braid as a boy.
He caddied for him and he remembers him well. He often talks about James Braid.
And can you remember his golf? How well he played golf? Can you remember that?
Can you remember how well he played golf? James Braid, he was in his veteran stage when I caddied for him. He was an old man. He was more or less my dad's age. But I always remember James Braid. He never hit the ball far, but it was always dead straight. And it was a wonderful hole out of 6 to 8 feet. He never missed from that. That was dead for him, you know.
Amazing.
If he chipped up within that 6 feet, that was a give me. My life revolved around the golf club. Even right through the war years, the golf club was always my home. The first place when I came on leave, the first place I made for was the golf club.
You never wanted to move, did you? You never wanted to
My
move.
mum
away
was the
from there.
original golf widow, I have to say, unfortunately.
Well, Fred, the members at Walton Heath would like to send you their very best wishes. We miss you.
Did you hear that? The members at Walton Heath would like to send their very best wishes to you.
Thank you very much. It's written on my heart. It's just written on there, isn't it?
It may be a bit early for your 99th birthday, but happy birthday for November. We look forward to hearing about the party. I'm sure it will be huge.
Well, it will be. He's got a big
We
family.
hope so. We get free of this virus.
And it's been absolutely lovely to see you. And I know there will be many members who will be delighted to have the opportunity to see you again.
Thank you very
It's
much.
lovely.
Well, that's lovely for you. This has really been a boost for him, David, I can honestly say. Because although he's living a comfortable life down here, I'm afraid one thing that's missing from his life is the golf club.
Here's the golf. One of the lovely things about Walton Heath is it never forgets its history. And, it's very proud of its history, and it's very proud of all those who've been involved in that history.
That's
Well,
lovely.
yeah, that's right. And he's proud to be part of it.
Thanks
I can tell you that.
Yes. You've enjoyed it, haven't you?
Well,
You're
going to say goodbye to David.
Well, I do.
Yes, and thanks very much.